gentleman who had replied to our survey on the Nextdoor app literally said, "I will join your running club if you're willing to do the 62-year-old shuffle." And it made us pause and think, and he showed up. I just want to have a human interaction. I want my kids to be able to have a human interaction someday. I want anyone that shows up to our run club, I want to go to another run club. I want to feel a human connection. She paused and then says, "And Craig, I've never run." I mean, you want to talk about feeling like you've actually done something. During the pandemic, run clubs blew up, and a lot of them became these singles clubs. We have relationships that have come out of German Village Run Club, and I love that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, look, we got two guys. Oh Jesus, don't start now. All right, so this was a thing yesterday. Actually, like staff and other people would come over and like start petting Pumas and whatever, just to distract me, because they know I'm easily distractible. At any rate, if you were within the sound of our voice, I'm Jeff.
I'm Hannah. Hello.
And we're the 1 Mile at a Time podcast. If you haven't heard of us, it's because we just started exactly 24 hours ago. We have now, though, this is the beginning of our 5th episode we're recording in 24 hours. I'd say that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
That explains why I'm so fatigued. It's like we already did a marathon and we haven't. At any rate, sorry, I'm going off on a tangent already. We are here with Craig Kent, with the German Village Running Club and just the greater Columbus running community at large. And we're talking a lot about community and connection, and I can't think, frankly, of a better person in this community to talk about how to build a community than it is you.
Thanks.
The group that you have built in German Village is such like a vibrant group, such just like so much energy, but like it was truly built from the ground up by one person. You poured your heart and soul into it. What did it mean to you to just get that community up and running from day one of like, hey, I want to have this, there's a need and you wanted to fill it?
Yeah, first, thank you. It's good to be here with you, Jeff and Hannah. Thank you. I don't feel like we've done that much, to be honest with you. And I truly appreciate that, because it's, for us, I think the community is what's built it. So we literally started by my wife and I having a conversation about, hey, she wanted to be a runner. The classic that everybody feels. Yeah. I run all the time. You run a ton. I sometimes don't feel like a runner. I'll show up to a group event and I just don't feel like I'm part of the running community. And that's on me, but I think it's in a lot of us that we feel that way. And so from the ground up, almost 4 years ago, we were sitting having a cocktail where we start at the Sycamore, and it came down to a conversation of, she wanted to feel like a runner. She wanted to feel like she was safe, something that I don't think about often for myself. So hearing her say, and hearing others in our community say, hey, at 4 p.m. on a February evening, I don't feel safe, or noon on a July day, I don't feel safe. And so from that point, we said, hey, let's figure it out. Let's try it. And I think one of the keys that really helped us was, honestly, the 5 people that showed up for our very first. Of course, we started a run club in December.
Yeah. Love that.
Ultra runner. Yeah. Leave it to an ultra runner to start a December run club. But a gentleman who had replied to our survey on the Nextdoor app literally said, "I will join your running club if you're willing to do the 62-year-old shuffle." And it made us pause and think. And he showed up. His name's Bill. He still runs with us.
That's awesome.
And we didn't know what a 62-year-old shuffle was. So Bill shows up, 2 other people show up, Aaron and I show up, and we say, all right, Bill, what's the 62-year-old shuffle? And it ended up being a 10:30 to an 11-minute mile. Now, I'm a guy that runs a lot of miles, 99.9% of the time by myself. it was an amazing, we're going to sit back and have a conversation. And so that was a building block. And it literally was the first brick in our tradition of like, we're always only going to go as fast as a 10:30 pace, and people will show up and they'll be like, I'm not fast enough to run with you. And you're like, well, let me tell you a story. You tell them the story and they're like, oh, I run a 9:45. I'm perfectly fine.
Right.
And it's like seeing the elation on their faces, honestly, that's what it's been for us. And so since that day, there's nothing really special we're doing. It's truly about everyone that shows up adds a little piece. And you guys know the Columbus community. Black Men Run, Easton. We have some clubs, Black Girls Run. The clubs are very welcoming. Short North Run Club, they're welcoming. It's not, I'm going to show up and race the next person. And so we're just building upon, yes, we started in our neighborhood and we've grown and added that. But it's honestly, I think it's an add to the running community that's already been there from a Columbus perspective.
It's been really fun. And I think a lot of this has been over the last year or two, watching all of these different clubs start to do a lot more interaction with one another, which is just huge because that builds community. And Andrew Buckmichael mentioned like the amount of miles that all these folks in here have logged. And so I quickly whipped out my laptop and did some math. If for the 15,000 people doing the race, it's 8.1 million miles.
Yeah,
all the
crazy.
participants in this room will have run.
That's crazy.
Like, and that's like that number is astounding. But think of the additional miles beyond that those miles inspire. And groups like yours are only a betterment to that, of a resource for people to feel safe and welcomed and running. And it's your turn to talk.
Oh no! I'm curious because you guys run together twice per week at least.
Yeah.
At least. So Monday nights, Wednesday mornings, and then you have this other thing. And I want to talk about it because I want to know where that came from. Where did 9 VRC come from? And it feels like ever since I've known you, which hasn't been that long, but you just have this curiosity about running, and it's so cool. It's like approaching running in this like explorer mindset. So talk about 9 VRC and your mindset and that curiosity that now has inspired others to get curious.
I appreciate that. Thank you. So 9 VRC, you would think that it came from like this epiphany. It literally was, I was going to do a photo shoot with a guy in the neighborhood, and Greg, who leads our run, he and I were running back, and I'm like, Greg, we're like, I think at that point we were a year and a half in German Village Run Club. And I'm like, look, I love German Village Run Club. I love what it is. I love this 3 miles. It's taught me to actually enjoy running in a different light. I was very solo runner, went out and did my thing. We're running side by side, and all of a sudden I'm like, man, I'd love if I could just have a group. We could have a group that was like a little bit on the Fight Club-esque kind of world. Now I'm a very peaceful guy, so it's not any fighting by any means. But 9 VRC, literally, if you flip the G in GVRC, it becomes a 9. That was Greg logo, trademarked that. But we were like, what could we do but still welcome people into the community? So a 10:30 is very welcoming, we think. It can still, there's still some people in the 12-mile range that might be a little scared. And when they show up, we will accommodate, we'll walk with them. But also, as we take and look at that safety factor of, hey, there are runners out there that feel very comfortable with going out on a day. But when you start talking about a night run, it starts to push boundaries. And I think there's so many things that we're comfortable in life, and we can just go through life. Oh, I just do my thing. We run our 8.1 million miles, which is a staggering number. I love that. And so it was like, okay, what can we do that's us, that's still welcoming of people, but pushes the envelope a little bit? So we created 9 VRC, and it all started with this idea of like, let's run a little bit faster than our 10:30. Let's do a 9-minute mile, a little more speed, but also still welcoming for people to get into. And so then it was like, well, what if we did it on the 9th of the month? What if we did it at 9 p.m.? I wanted it to be at 10 p.m., but 10 miles it just didn't have the ring to it. So 9 VRC is 9th of the month. 9 miles,
Yeah.
9-minute pace. We don't announce the start location until 9 hours before.
I love that.
And then there's always mandatory items. The mandatory items always change. The theme changes. No one ever knows what we're going to do. And a lot of times I'm coming up with it about 9 minutes before I post it online. So,
I
but
love it.
what we've turned it into is it's been creative. So we will get a group of people, 25 people, and you'll hand out cards where it's like the ace through the 8. And Hannah, now you have the ace. You have to choose mile 1. Jeff got card number 2. He now has to choose mile 2. Now you're working together. Sometimes we'll take people onto the railroad tracks and it's really a way to push boundaries, but then we'll bring a canned good and then we'll stop by a food bank and we'll drop those off. We did a cat purgatory, where we did an entire theme around cats. So it really, it allows me to use some creativity. It allows people to push boundaries. And those boundaries are, I'm showing up at night. I have to learn to run with a headlamp. I have to learn to run at night. I have to run with people that I've never run with before. And so that is what it is for us, is how can we give back, explore, push boundaries, draw some art. It's just been a really fun foray. And then we actually have a third run club as well, which is our Women in Femmes run club, which happens on the third Thursday of every month. So really for us, it just comes out of, we hear people and what they want, and then it's like, okay, can we add this in some way, shape, or form while making it very low entry? Everything we try to do is very low entry. It's been self-supporting for the most part, and so ease, getting people comfortable. But 9 VRC is a fun one. If you haven't been to 9 VRC,
It's on my
strong
list.
recommendation.
I need to do it.
It's hearing you talk specifically about 9 VRC, and then what you guys were doing, or what you already do on Mondays and Wednesdays. You've accomplished a couple of things. One, you're providing a training stimulus, so you're adding a stress, so people are going to adapt and get stronger, and you're doing the things in the right way. But you're also doing it in a very low pressure situation where they're not trying to hammer out repeats on the track or something like that, or hit whatever it is. But you've also made it super fun and engaging, and you're creating different ways to just engage the runner than really anybody else is.
Right.
And that's it. And like you said, it's in a very sustainable, low cost, low barrier to entry, which is one of the hardest things in running, is that there's not a whole lot of races that happen down in your neighborhood, except for the marathon coming, doing a loop around, and then again in the spring with the half marathon. How have you not leverage, that's the wrong word, but how have you used your position with German Village Run Club and your passion for the running community at large to help bridge some gaps with some other groups? Because I've watched it happen, and it's pretty darn cool watching you do what you do, whether you realize you're doing it. But it's happening. I don't know, maybe you don't even know that because you didn't know that was happening, but it's happening. But what, maybe simplify it. What motivates you to get out and make these connections between the groups?
Yeah, I just got chills. We've talked about this, Jeff, and Hannah, you and I just kind of met recently, but I honestly don't think I'm doing anything special. I really appreciate that. I think that we live in a world where wherever you are on any spectrum of politics, religion, you name it, I don't care where you are. I just want to have a human interaction. I want my kids to be able to have a human interaction someday. I want anyone that shows up to our run club, I want to go to another run club. I want to feel a human connection. I have traveled and I've woken up in cities where I show up to a run club and it feels like, what shoes is he wearing? What shirt is he wearing? What speed? How fast is he going to go? I want to be in a place, I'm okay with that. People are going to race tomorrow, and I love the elites. Go elites. If you're an elite runner and you can train and you have those abilities, awesome. The person for me that I want to see tomorrow is the last person I want to see the person that the police car is behind, that the cone picker uppers are behind. And so for me, I have lived a very fortunate life where I've been able to travel. I've been able to see and make connections with a lot of people. And I just want to have those connections for me. And so because of that, I think it's important that we help people in this world where we're connected through phones, through stimuli of some sort. And I feel like I have to be, in a lot of parts of my life, I feel like I have to be doing this or doing that, or I'm not holding myself to this standard. When I go run with people, it doesn't matter how fast we're going. It doesn't matter if I'm having a great day, a bad day. If you're feeling it, I'm feeling it. It's easy to have a connection. And so I constantly say, I appreciate that people see me as that, but there are a lot of cool people in this community that I just think they need the spark and they need the place. And that's what we hope we're doing in our little world. And you're interviewing some of the other people that are doing it in our community. And I feel very fortunate that in the last 3.5 years, I've been able to meet those people because they were not in my life before. And now I feel privileged to know them. And I think that's really, so for us, that's the spark is like, if we're doing it, other people are doing it, let's.
I saw you coming a mile away and knew that was going to happen.
Everybody, Malik
you
just walked
interrupted your own
into
yesterday.
the
and now you're
picture.
going to interrupt this one?
And that's why we do it right there, because people like Malik.
That was
I had a
perfect
follow-up.
timing.
I lost it. Thanks, Malik. I'll give it to you for the moment.
Oh gosh, I mean, I'm like, it gives me goosebumps to talk about running like this because there is something so profound about, create the modem for creating connection and community. And I'm just trying to it makes me feel a little emotional, like about yeah. So in this, tell me a time, like a story, right, from what you've seen in your community, whether it's German Village Run Club or in interactions with other run clubs. Tell me a time that you really got this spark of wow, how big of an impact that what you're doing is having or that other people are doing is having. Tell me a story that just struck you in a way that continues that inspiration. I know.
How much time do we have? Okay, I've got two very quick ones, and they're very internal German Village Run Club ones. I don't even know when it was, but actually maybe 3. So 6:45 a.m. If you have ever met me or if you've ever run with me, you will learn quickly, I hate running in the morning. I'm old. It's that simple. I'm old. My joints aren't there. I can work all day in the morning. I'm happy to meet you for coffee in the morning, but you tell me to run, and I'm like, no. So the survey for our run club, people said, we want to run in the morning. So we started as a Wednesday morning run club. Awesome. Not my thing. So I say that because...
Awesome, not my thing.
It's not my thing. So I think it was July of last year. It's still in that dark mode. We're going for a run, and I noticed very quickly that we have a person that's not going to keep up with the lead pack. This is 6:45 a.m. on a Wednesday. So everyone shows up, and you go, and we've all been there, right? You get stereotyped as, oh, that guy looks like a runner, or they look like this and that, and it's So I wear the short shorts, I have the shirts, I'm I might look like I can run fast, I'm not a fast runner, but I'm always going to make sure, or someone in our run club is always going to make sure that the back of the pack is supported, especially if it's their first time. And so I noticed very quickly that this person is going to be at the back of the pack, let's say. And so I'm I'm going to stick with her. And so she and I start talking, and I'm like, oh my gosh, nice to meet you. Where are you from? First time, so thankful that you came out. And I'm I'm going to say her by name, Charday. I'm like, Charday, what is your run story? What drives you to run? And she said, well, Craig, first, I've never been to a run club.
Wow.
And I'm like, I had just found out that this woman lives in Dublin, Ohio, which Columbus isn't huge, but we run at 6:45 in the morning, which
That's
means
an
she had a
early
25-minute drive to get to Run Club in the morning. So I'm like, oh my gosh, Sade, I hate running in the mornings. I can't believe you drove here and this is your first Run Club experience ever. She paused and then says, and Craig, I've never run.
Like ever.
I mean, you want to talk about feeling like you've actually done something. That Sade showed up. She still runs with us. She now goes to Easton. She runs with Black Girls Run. That we could just even be a part of that.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Amazing.
So then my other quick story is we've got a guy that started running with us maybe 6 months ago, Brandon. And he's in his 20s, a lot younger than I am, but learning him, again, back of the pack, we're walking, we're running. He's like, oh man, I'm never going to keep up with the lead pack. I'm never going to get there. And a few weeks ago, we finished on a Wednesday morning. I actually didn't finish with the main group because I was in the back walking and running with somebody. I get done and I'm like, this guy is standing on the corner and he's like coming down from the run. And I'm like, wait a second, Brandon, you're ahead of me. Did you finish? And I didn't even get the words out of my mouth. And he just, this massive smile.
Aww.
And so at 7:15 in the morning in German Village, everybody had gotten their coffee. We're just getting there. And we just literally a round of applause. Because again, I can have a 12-minute mile day. People are always like, oh, Hannah, you're going to go run a 7:30 mile or whatever you run. I'm sure you're faster than that. But we all
Thank you,
have
that's nice.
12-minute mile days. We
Yes.
all have 14-minute mile days.
Yes. Yep.
And that's honestly, for me, what should be promoted more is like, it's not always easy for anyone.
Right. Right.
And so I think those are the two stories of our community that like are recent, but literally I think that's what's been so amazing is there are so many people that show up to a run club for the first time. Like you said, there is an opportunity there. And to watch them grow and succeed, and whether they're doing a marathon or a half marathon, a 5K, or just once a week they're showing up to one run club, that's what we're doing this for. We're doing this for connection, and I love that.
Yeah. All right. So when one of the coffee conversation we had,
Yeah.
we're talking about actually the addition of Wednesdays, and you're like, hey, I'm not a morning person. That's not my thing. If you want it, you build it. We'll make it happen. So talk to me a little bit about. I've already put like the headline of your this episode is "It Takes a Village." Talk about what it means to you to not only entertain other options, but then to also trust and like have that belief that they're going to do it the way that it should be done, whatever that means.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I mean, because there kind of is probably no way it should be done, but
Yeah.
but just trusting in your village around you. Like you mentioned also with the 12, like you've got a 12-minute day. And you've got to be able to trust that the person next to you can step in to fill a void.
Yeah, it's really good. So I always say I'm old. I'm 47 at this point. I've got two boys that I've been a school teacher. So I've got two teenagers. I've been a school teacher for a fortunate moment in my life. And so we have kind of just stuck with, hey, if you're new to German Village Run Club, if you're going to show up to German Village Run Club, first and foremost, thank you. Because it's not easy to get someplace at 5:45 p.m. on a Monday night, and it's not easy to get out of bed at 6:45 a.m. on a Wednesday morning. So first and foremost, I'm truly appreciative that somebody takes the time out of their day and comes and introduces themselves, because there's a fear factor, there's a just doing it. We all have busy lives, and to take a moment to do that, amazing. So first, thank you. I say that I'm a dad, and I have no problem using my dad voice in this. I want everyone that shows up to Run Club to feel safe. I want them to be respected. I want them to be respectful of those around them. And that might sound cheesy and very like daddish in that, but I literally, even in in the kickoff and the announcements, we try to put in our other announcements and our Women and Femmes Run Club. If we have our Women and Femmes Run Club giving their announcement for the week, let's all pause for a moment and take a moment and actually listen. And so it's not a, hey, we need to be this power trip. It's literally, hi, this person is taking time to lead our Women and Femmes Run group. Can we just all listen? We're not going to take long with it. And then before we set off, it is that reminder of, hey, if you're new to us, or even if you're not new to us, Greg or whoever is leading our run that day, we have a Hannah that leads it. We have a lot of people that will step up when I'm out of town. They step up when I'm in town as well. So not give them the credit, because literally I have a group that I just send a message to that says, hey, we're out of town this week. Aaron and I are out of town. Greg's out of, like, our leaders are out of town. And within minutes, before I can finish typing the message, people get back to us. And so I think that's what's been, we're just very open, honest, and clear about what our expectations are for Run Club. During the pandemic, Run Clubs blew up, and a lot of them became these singles clubs. We have relationships that have come out of German Village Run Club, and I love that. But if you are a male, female, non-binary, however you identify yourself, if you show up to our Run Club and you do not feel as though you have been in a safe space, in a respected space, I want you to know that you can come to us and talk to us. And we will have dialogue with the people that aren't, or we'll attack that as a group and say, listen, somebody doesn't feel safe and respectful. And also if you've ever been or if you ever come, we run the same route so that people they know where they're going. And so for us, it's really just about being open and upfront at the beginning. Because again, I go back to the conversation of, like, I'm craving human interactions, and not human interactions with people that are just like me. I want to know people of the world. And that takes, I said this on Chris Glover's podcast about, it takes vulnerability. You have to open yourself up when you go to a run club, when you're running next to somebody, to let them into your world, and vice versa. Yeah. But you have to be open to letting your guard down to do that. And so we hope that we're giving that space for people. And sometimes it does take that reminder of, hey guys, these are the guardrails by which we adhere by. And it's not strict by any means. I make it sound so strict. We're very open and loving, and we want all of that to just happen and it truly be a safe space.
Well, I think probably learned this from you. It takes a little bit of the candor to just say, hey, let's listen for a minute. Like, give the respect where the respect is due.
Well, I'm trying to think where I was going. Always.
Did you say love?
I said left.
Oh, left. Go left. Always.
Okay, yes. So, what is it? What do you think it is about running? Because I'm really interested in this idea of vulnerability, right? It can be very difficult to go into this, but there's something about endurance sports. There's something about, I'm thinking about the ultras. I have run, there is always a moment where this person that I've been running with for 3 hours knows more about me than the people I see every week at work, and people like joke about it and like, oh yeah, you're trauma bonding, you're suffering and you're talking about your suffering, right? And what do you think it is? Is that it? Is it shared suffering? Or is it shared healing? What is it about this sport, you think, that encourages and really lays the groundwork for folks to step into that vulnerable space and maybe share a part of themselves that they might not have felt comfortable sharing in any other type of club? What is it about running that fosters that?
Really, really good question. And honestly, it gives me chills because I'm like, I have flashbacks. So if you don't know my story, I have been very fortunate I skipped over the marathon and I went to ultras somehow, some way. And it honestly, I think it works for me. And this is if you run with me ever, I hope people know that this is my running story. And I think that's what's amazing and allows people to be vulnerable is everyone has their own running story.
Yes. And
so I do immediately go to those moments when I'm on a trail by myself for 10 miles, 12 miles. When I did the speed project, I was on 30 miles by myself. Or all of a sudden, I had somebody fly in and they ran with me at the speed project. And like Connor and I do, we know more sometimes intimate details about our lives than our partners do. And it's because you're burning endorphins. I think you're doing something very natural that I'm not looking at myself in my phone or on a screen when I'm in a meeting with coworkers. And so it allows, I think, it's why I love running so much. There are so many things that I am fortunate about in my life, and they feel very hard. My job feels very hard sometimes. Parenting, as great as my kids are, I feel like I'm not always the best dad. I feel like I am not the best in a lot of ways in my life. When I go run, I think I fell in love with running in a place where I don't ever feel like I'm competing against you, Hannah, or Jeff, and not in a way of like, oh my gosh, Hannah can run faster than me. It's not, for me, it's, I know what I'm capable of doing. Sometimes I get to push that capability. I get scared and it's like, oh, but could I do this? And I think if you can find that, whether that's 1 mile a week, you're in a place where you get a chance to go out and just do something very natural, raw. What we're built to do, we're built to move. We are not built to sit behind a laptop and negotiate contracts or talk about this shipment moving from here in supply chain. I am built as a human to have connection. I'm also built to have time alone. And we're all connected to devices at all the time now with everything we do. And I think that for me is, I think that's in an ultra, I'm not looking at my phone as I'm running because I got to watch for the route that's going to be there.
Yeah.
And when I trip in front of 3 other runners, they get it because they've tripped. And so they've been on a trail and they've got to use the restroom in the middle of the woods.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
you become those things, you can shed all of that, especially in that ultra environment.
Yes.
But I watch videos of the reason I'm going to cheer the marathon tomorrow, because I get to watch people in pain, in pleasure, in figuring out who they are. They get to figure out what they're doing. And that is, if I can give them 1 iota of energy to go 1 step further, we're doing it. So I think that's why it's like so easy to, I do love hey, I've been 3 hours with the same person on a trail and I literally just met them at 6 a.m. And then you drop them or they drop you for a couple hours and then you're back and you're like,
again.
oh my gosh, it's like we've been friends for hours.
I know, it's like,
or for years.
So good to see you. How are you doing?
Decades
How are
later.
your feet?
It's great.
I know.
You talked about the, just that you get to cheer.
Yeah.
Like, that is my favorite thing about the marathons. People are always, oh, are you running tomorrow? No, but I'll be on the course. Tomorrow I'm not, because I actually get to be a father and I'm really stoked about that. But like, thank you. But there is nothing like it to be out there and just supporting every last person that goes by, because they've got a story and they're there putting their heart and soul in the line. So we've started a fun little tradition now that you're our 5th episode, and we managed to do this on all 5 of them. So we're doing pretty well so far. We have 2 last questions.
Yeah.
And the first one is, given that we're on the 1 Mile at a Time podcast, if you could pick 1 mile, and you get to choose what I mean by this, your favorite mile you have ever run.
Oh man, this is a real thinker. But 1 mile. I have so many. This is like a Rolodex.
Why we love this question.
Yeah.
There's a Rolodex of life, and it's man. I have to say, you really like this one brings, because I literally am almost like choking up, because it's like it takes me to how many amazing things I've been able to do in my life. I would say and I can't tell you, I can tell you the course because I've been able to do this course 5 times. So at the end of the Burning River 100, it's not an easy 100. I don't like to say that. It's a very navigable 100 for your crew.
Yes.
And I have been very fortunate that I have learned to run 100 milers, especially the Burning River 100, in under 20 hours or at 20 hours.
Amazing.
So I'm starting and finishing on the same day, which is an amazing thing for not just me, but for my entire crew, that I have the easy job of running. They have the difficult job of staying with me all day. And so here's why it is the mile. I have been able to finish that. And my sons and my wife and my family and my crew have been able to be there. And it's awesome because it's literally, depending on the year, what they do, but they run you up this hill. It's an easily navigable hill. You're on the street. There's people cheering you on because it's still before midnight. And I've been able to hold the hands of my kids while running in at that last finish, and then giving my mom a hug, giving my dad a hug, who should not be up at that hour, but my mom's so worried all day that I'm going to finish this thing, that I'm going to be safe. And then I'm in tears because it's great, because then I finish. I always ask for a Mountain Dew, which is the worst thing you could ever have at the end of anything in life. But they always have them at the course, or some generic version, which I always love the generic version
Mountain
of
Lightning.
Mountain Springs or Mountain Lightning or something. And then they always end it at a bar, and that bar is always open. And I start to metabolize everything, and my body starts shaking. I'm cold, and every emotion hits me because they're all sitting around. They've been there for me all day, which blows my mind that people love me that much to be there, that I have finished something cool. And then I always order a beer. And I sit there for a moment, and I'm hunkered down, and I'm like dead tired. I'm ready for bed. And I do a toast. I take one sip of the beer. I start crying. And my wife says, "All right, it's time to go." And then we go. And it's like in my mind every time, it's like that's the mile, I think. So that was a very long story.
Yeah,
But
that was perfect.
yeah, I have countless others, but man, that's probably the best.
I love it.
That was
Okay.
a good mile.
Yeah, I'm a sympathetic crier, so I just watched
Oh.
you, and I'm crying.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
No,
Yeah,
well,
it's always like mile 30 of an ultra, because
Yes.
that's when you're like, you realize, what did I sign up for today?
Right.
And then it's always the I'm done,
Yep.
and then the tears shed.
What is
Yeah.
it about mile 30?
It's-
That's the worst mile in a 100
Yeah,
miler.
it's because usually
terrible.
you see your pace group, your group, and
You're
then
like, please take me home.
Yeah.
you just want to see a human again.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Well, the Mountain Dew is the perfect segue.
Yeah.
So I've been asking this question because, especially of ultra runners, I really am so interested in what people eat. Like, food is like my lifeblood. I think sharing a meal with somebody is one of the most powerful things you can do.
Yeah.
It's a perfect way to fellowship. So tell me about what is like going. This is a two-parter actually, because I am curious about this first one. So when you're in the pits in an ultra and you come up to an aid station, what is the food that's on the table where you feel like you're going to cry of happiness? Like you see it and you're like, this is what I have been dreaming about. What is that food? Then the part two is, what is your favorite, like, post race? What's your go-to meal? What do you love to refuel with when your stomach starts feeling good?
3 days later.
Yeah, right.
It's 36 hours for me always.
It was good. 'Cause okay, part one.
Yes.
If you ever run with me, you know, and if you don't know, I detest water.
Like just straight
I
water?
don't like water.
Oh.
So we're just going to start there.
There's a
And-
barrier here.
I don't like water. I just really, plain water is the worst thing in the world to me. And so I know that sounds crazy, but you drinking that bottle of water today is probably more water than I've ingested on running over the last week. So for me, it's not really an aid station because I'm really good about get the water. For me, it's mile 60.
Okay.
two things. It's a two-parter. It is a Topo Chico.
Oh, bubbly.
So if I can get a bubbly, but if I can get a Topo Chico, which I had one in the middle of the desert during the speed project, and I wept. I literally, tears were shed.
Wait, the lime one?
No, just the regular
plain.
in the bottle.
Just seltzer
if you
water.
can give me a glass bottle of Topo Chico, my buddy that cruised me with my wife, my buddy Todd, somehow he found Topo Chico in the middle of nowhere, and so that
Crispy.
and a coffee. And I don't care if the coffee's hot. I don't care if it's cold. I enjoy like the bitterness of the coffee when I'm deep in a race. Fortunately, I don't actually have.
Yeah.
I've never had stomach issues during any ultra that I've ever
Amazing.
done. But when I finish, I love a cold Coke and any type of food. I mean, I don't have a favorite. I can put down 3 bowls of Lucky Charms,
Oh,
be
yeah.
perfectly content. I can
Oh,
put
yeah.
down a pizza. I can put down a fried chicken sandwich. As you can tell here,
I love
I'm
this.
not one that watches exactly what goes in and like into my body. But again, that's very fortunate on my side. I stay away from goos and all of that stuff. So
Yeah.
coffee, sparkling water, and then honestly just carbohydrates at
I'm
the end
so
of a run is
inspired.
kind of my favorite go-to.
I'm so inspired. I love it.
If it's in front of you, you will eat it.
Yes.
I'm very much the same way. Well, Craig, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, guys.
This has been a fabulous conversation. We will have this episode live Monday or Tuesday of next week.
Awesome.
Have fun being the best dressed hot dog on the course tomorrow.
Yes. Look for the hot dog at mile 10.
Mile
right?
10 hot dog. Craig, you see him? That's this guy. Yeah, at any rate,
That's all we got, folks.
Thank you both.
Thank
Thank
I
you.
really appreciate you.
Thanks, Craig. Yay!